Welcome, my name is Mike Delpre, Executive Director of AZREIA, and I have a very special guest, Bob Gomez, who is a living legend in the fix and flip world here in Phoenix, also our subgroup leader for the fix and flip group, and he's been so kind to let's walk through his fix and flip property so we can learn something. Bob, what do we got here?
This is a house we have in our speed mentoring program. So we take a brand new person who's never done this before and we teach them how to do a fix and flip. Everything from how do I find the property to how do I evaluate it, how much is it going to cost me, and what do we do when we get it. So
How'd you find this house?
wholesaler. Found it from a wholesaler. I was a wholesaler for many years. There's a source of good deals. You just got to make sure you evaluate the deal. A lot of guys out there knocking on doors. Let them do the work.
Let him do the work. Cool. Let's go inside.
Well, let's start here. So here you see a garage. When we bought it, there was no garage. There must have been about 10 people living in this house. So that garage had been sealed off and there were multiple rooms in the garage itself. So we turned it back into a garage. And this room here leads into the kitchen and then like a dining area. That used to be a wall. So now we have a nice big window up front and we have a big opening here where we will have cabinets with a bar. Those are due to come in a couple of weeks. Everything up here are all recessed lighting, and one of the things we use are the new pucks, the recessed lighting. They're real flat, they're LEDs. You can change the color. I don't like that bright white. I like more of the subtle white. So the cool thing is you can change colors on them.
So now, for someone watching, so how did you think about all this? So are you the master engineer? Do you sketch this out? How can someone at home walk in and say, I want to blow that out? They probably don't even understand where to start.
My main thing is when I come in these days, because that's what the customer will want, is to open it up as much as I can.
Got it.
So I know that much. But when it comes to how do we design the cabinets and what should they look like and what are certain things, I'll defer to somebody who's got more of a design,
So it actually goes back in, goes further into the future, starting with the end in mind, right? So you start with who's going to live here and what are they buying on MLS.
And that's a good point. It's very important. When we start building our plan, our budget, we look at the neighborhood and we look at who the customer is going to be and what is it they're going to want. So the customer here at 16th Street in Indian School is a very different customer than Glendale and 59th Avenue.
Yeah.
We build the plan based on the customer that's going to come by. Kitchen, we'll have sink over here, we'll have a dishwasher somewhere in through there. You got your stove and microwave over in this spot. We will have cabinets in there. And I just noticed that we're going to need an exhaust fan.
I was just about to ask you where's the
So we're going to have to address that.
That's good. So what happened? Okay, perfect. So
Yeah.
It's a common thing, right? You need an exhaust in your house. One, why do you need an exhaust? And what do you do when that would be like a change order of some sort?
Yeah, it would be a change order. So I'm looking at here, and I haven't been at this property for a couple of weeks now, and I'm noticing the exhaust is covered up. So
there was one there.
I think there was one there, so we're going to have to put it back in. So this is just a little dining room, eating room. As you can see, it's pretty small, but with the kitchen blown open, a bar area over there, seating area that allows people to sit for the living room as well as the kitchen. It's going to really open. It really opens it up, so we can put a little kitchenette kind of set up over on this side.
How many square feet is this house?
It is, I know you'd asked, I want to say it is 1,800.
1,800? Awesome.
Cool. Next, let's go down the hallway to the bedroom. So we try not, if the air conditioner and heating are working, we don't touch them. Let's just leave it, but make sure you have a nice control on here, so we'll have our AC guy check it out. This room here is a bedroom. Right now we have a vanity for the bathroom sitting in here. Because this is one of your more expensive items, you really need to shop. But right now, Home Depot has a good deal on vanities where they come with the stone already on top. You get the whole vanity and they're assembled. I made the mistakes of ordering vanities through Amazon, and they come in a box about this big. And they have 5 billion pieces, and it takes you about 5 days to put it together. So these from Home Depot are about $600, and they nice looking vanity. And
Got to plug it. AZREIA members get Home Depot Pro discount, which you'll get discounts off cabinets, appliances, paint, and you get 2% cash back every year for being an AZREIA member. Hopefully you're using that well.
Yes, yeah, we are. This is kind of the master bedroom and bathroom. So here again, the window is totally blown out. Keep in mind, this was a house where there was probably at least 10 different individuals living in it.
Okay.
Most of them looked like they were maybe migrant workers. There was a lot of activity going on in here, and these windows were all busted. So that's why we replaced it. This is where we'll put the smaller vanity. Here, the bathroom. This was a bathtub that was all rusted out. So my option was I could put a new bathtub in, order one of those. Those are about $300, $250 or so. I could go look for a used one, or turn it into a shower. And that's what we're gonna do, is turn it into a shower.
And are you noticing stand-up showers are the way to go now, at least in the guest?
Yeah, having at least one bathtub in the house, so that if a young family comes, they've got little kids, they want to bathe their kids, that they've got a bathtub. Like this small area makes more sense to have a shower. The other thing we tried to do is when we're replacing doors, these had a lot of termite damage and a lot of damage on the doors, so that's where we're putting the whole frame and door.
Can we touch on termites? So someone's buying a property, they're inspecting, they find out there's termites. Is that really a big issue? Is that something that gets fixed easy, or is it a big problem?
It can be a big problem if it's been there for years and years and years, and you got rafters where they've been eaten away. I've rarely seen houses that are that bad a shape where you can't repair some of the boards and wood. Every home in Arizona is going to get termites. This is common. The difference in Arizona is we can treat subterranean termite treatment. They just squirt liquid in the base of the house. In California and other areas, they have to tent the entire house, and it's extremely expensive. So here we're pretty lucky. It cost me, for this house, to treat it, it's going to be about $400.
So now we're heading into the multi-family
Yeah,
garage.
this was the multi-family garage. So I had a bedroom here, it had one there, and one there, and it's two over here. There was like rooms all over the place. It was like a hotel. This is the only place the guy gets to have. So we try to at least make it look nice and cleaned up. And it doesn't cost me that much. To epoxy the floor, it's going to cost me about $600-700. When I have it done in a Scottsdale house by a epoxy company, it's about $3,000.
Looks like there was some, is that just old?
Nope, it used to be a window.
Okay.
And that used to be a door. So this used to be a door right here.
Ah, very interesting. Sometimes when you walk into these houses with problems and issues, that's where you get a good deal. But don't be scared of what you see, because it's all possible to be turned back around.
Yeah, you got the right guy. They can do magic. So the yard is probably where I spend the least amount of money. Part of it is, you want it cleaned up. You want it to look fresh, but it lets the homeowner come in and do what they want to do with it. So I want the front to look good, because that's the first thing you see. But the backyard, I pretty much focus on just clean it up. We might put a little gravel in, and that's about it.
Okay. So when you're evaluating a property, when it comes to comping and thinking of your end price, your budgeting and your holding costs, what are your thoughts on that right now in this market?
I would plan on a 4-month hold time. I hope we don't, but just in case. And that's from the time we acquired to the time we finally sell it. Now, I fully expect in this market, in this time, we're in the 4th quarter of this year, always a slow time. We always see the market pick up in January, 1st quarter. So I'm expecting that we'll see a lot more activity, especially rates have dropped.
Yeah.
So
awesome. Pretty self-explanatory. All right, man. Anything on landscaping costs? But I know you said you keep it minimal. Let them.
Yeah, we budgeted about $2,500 for landscaping, so that's going to be to trim the trees and bring in some gravel, and so we'll try to stick to that budget. Overall, our budget, and it's very important to have a budget, and we review it weekly. So we want to know where we're at, because things, we didn't plan on that. We got to see where that is. That means I got to cut back over here and stick with that budget. That's the biggest issue I see with new flippers. They don't keep track of what they're spending, and before they know it, their costs are out of line. But our budget on this house is $71,000. Yeah, that's labor, supplies, everything, landscape.
Okay, so you're gonna list it for roughly, which is
I think about five, somewhere around 555.
Awesome. So that's a wrap for part 1. We're gonna come back for part 2 when the entire project is finished. We're gonna go over how much he's gonna list it for, how much he's gonna make, how much he bought it for. You'll be able to see the finished product. But in the meantime, if you're in the Phoenix area, we have a subgroup where you get to network with like-minded people, which is a fix and flip subgroup hosted by Bob.
So the last Wednesday of every month we do the AZREIA Fix and Flip networking meeting. It's 2 hours, 6 to 8, every last Wednesday of the month except for December and August. But I've been doing it for about 20 years. We always have a networking time. We have someone talk about the market for mortgages. We have someone talking about hard money loans. We have someone that talks about some aspect of fix and flipping. Always do the market update, market numbers, an abbreviated version of that. Yeah, we invite you to join us.
There's always comedy. There's a comedy platform there, just unknown comedy stage there.
It's my secret desire to be a comedian, I think. So we try to make it fun.
It's always fun and funny. That's a good one. To this day, I guarantee if you show up, you'll learn something. I always learn something every time I go. So thank you, Bob, for having us, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
Okay, very good. Thanks.